I love anxiety. No, really, I love it. And by the end of my talk, so will you. Anxiety is my best friend. Sometimes it even comes with me everywhere I go. Anxiety is like an overprotective mother who's just trying to keep her baby safe by saying, "Oh, no, 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 don't do that. That's too dangerous." However, I didn't always see anxiety like that. Anxiety used to be my worst enemy. At the age of 22, I was diagnosed with anxiety and panic disorder when I began medical school. It came out of nowhere. One day, I was just casually walking down the street, and all of a sudden, I felt terrified. I felt disconnected from my body, like I was watching myself in a movie. My heart started racing. I was so scared. I didn't know what was happening to me. I started to scream, "Help, help, help!" But nobody was around, so I walked myself to the hospital, and that's when they told me I was having a panic attack. Now, I know what you may be thinking. Yeah, tell me something new. I get anxiety all the time. Doesn't everybody? And you would be right. Everyone does experience anxiety and get stressed out at times. But that's not the anxiety I'm talking about here. I'm not talking about the anxiety you feel before you take a test, or before a first date, or before you're about to give a TEDx talk. I'm talking about the anxiety that pops up out of nowhere while you were just sitting on the couch, relaxing, watching TV, and all of a sudden, you have feelings of unreality, like you don't know what's real and what's not. Your heart starts racing. You feel like you can't breathe. Your muscles tense up, and you start shaking, all within the comfort of your own home. In anxiety and panic disorder, there is not always a logical reason for your anxiety your sympathetic nervous system to get revved up. Your sympathetic nervous system is your body's flight and fight response to danger or stress. With people with anxiety, this response is inappropriately activated. The paralyzing way that a normal person would respond to being held at gunpoint is the same response a person with anxiety would feel sitting at home on their couch. And this was the case for me. 2 years after my first panic attack, my anxiety became extremely crippling. I became agoraphobic, which means I did not leave my house. I did not leave my house for about 2 months because I saw the world as unsafe. I felt helpless and trapped. I was afraid of having a panic attack and of losing control. Can you imagine living in fear all the time? After completing 2 years of medical school, I had to drop out. It was way too mentally tolling on me. I was anxious all the time. I couldn't sleep. I lost weight. This was one of the hardest decisions I had to make in my life, and I was really devastated because it was a dream of mine since I was a child. However, looking back at it now, it was one of the best decisions for me, and I am better off. After eight years of being on anxiety medications, seeing therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists, and reading many self-help books, I finally overcame my anxiety at this time last year and got off my medications. I asked myself, what would I do if I had no fear? How would I live my life? And I began living my life that way. While at one point I couldn't leave my house, now I was going on a mission trip to Haiti all alone with strangers. I was sitting on the couch, relaxing, watching TV without freaking out, and today I'm giving a TEDx talk. Thank you. On my journey to recovery, 2 great books and 1 helpful mindfulness technique really helped me, and I would like to share those with you. One of those great books is called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, which taught me the importance of the present moment. Oftentimes, we are daydreaming about the past, saying, I should have said this, or I should have said that, Or we are worried about an imagined future, saying, what if this and what if that? And what if an alien escapes from Area 51 and abducts me? Like, really, what if? Rarely are we in the present moment fully aware and fully engaged with what is right in front of us. If you think about it, the present moment is all we really have. It's all that really exists. It's important for people with anxiety to remember to stay in the present moment and not get lost in your thoughts. Another great book that really helped me is called Dare by Barry McDonough, which talks about the dare response to anxiety. This book taught me to change my relationship with anxiety from seeing it as a monster to seeing it as a friend. The D in Dare stands for diffuse, which means diffuse your negative thoughts by saying, so what? Or who gives a F? After all, thoughts are just thoughts. They are not reality, and we don't have to believe everything they say. Oftentimes, fear is just an illusion and a lie. The A stands for accept and allow, which means accept and allow all feelings and sensations and not push them away or run away from them, but rather invite them in and say, oh, hi, anxiety, there you are. Come on in, have a seat. Let's have a cup of tea. Because although these feelings are uncomfortable, pushing them away actually makes them worse. Remember, what you resist persists. So, go spaghetti! And what I mean by that is just let your muscles relax. Just go limp. Let your arms drop to the side. Relax your forehead muscles. Soften the muscles around your eyes. Unclench your jaw. Drop your shoulders. And just let the feelings of a nervous arousal flow through you. Just go with the flow and ride the waves, dude. Like John Kabat-Zinn said, you can't stop the waves, but you can learn how to surf. Okay, moving on. R in Dare stands for run towards. If the anxiety is still there, then run towards it. Demand more of it. Say, okay, anxiety, is that all you got? Give me more. Make it worse. Make my heart race faster. This step is to take the fear out of anxiety, because oftentimes anxiety is just the fear of having a panic attack. And so if you're demanding more of it, then you're not afraid of it, and thus you release yourself from anxiety. So run towards it. And E in Dare stands for engage. So engage back with life. Engage in something that takes your full attention so you're not lost in your thoughts. This book taught me to embrace anxiety and not resist it, because resisting our reality is what causes our suffering. Two other huge pieces to my recovery were meditation and yoga. Contrary to popular belief, meditation is not about just sitting and not thinking, but rather being fully aware of our thoughts and letting them be, and bringing our focus back to our breath and the present moment. So it's like letting your thoughts be like clouds in the sky floating by, not getting carried away by them or getting attached to them. So let's try an exercise. Everybody close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and out. Take another deep breath. Now, I want you to pay attention to what your next thought will be. Ask yourself, what will my next thought be? Now wait for it. Okay, open your eyes. Did you notice a gap between the question and the new thought? Yes, no, raise your hand. That moment of silence while you're waiting for the next thought, that is awareness. That is you being the observer of your thoughts. And that is what meditation is all about. You may have heard it takes many years of practice to clear the mind of thoughts, and you've just done it in a matter of seconds. While you were waiting for the next thought, were you worried about anything? Probably not. Your mind was completely still and free of worry. Meditation is important to slow your mind down in this busy world. It's important to remember that no matter what you're going through, there are many tools out there to help you. Whatever you are experiencing in this moment is exactly what you need for your betterment and growth. I still at times struggle with anxiety, but now I have a huge toolkit to help me get through it. And at those times, I remind myself of a famous Buddhist saying, "The obstacle is the path." I'm not a licensed health professional, but I think if those of us with anxiety changed our perception of it and saw it as a protector that we have to reassure that we are safe, rather than a monster out there to get us, then we can unshackle ourselves from anxiety's limitations. Set yourself free from anxiety by recognizing it for what it is, just an overprotective mom or best friend. And remember, when the anxiety rises, just go spaghetti and live fearlessly. Thank you.